Hello everyone, and welcome to Kaya Thinks Film. Today, I'd like to talk to you about Emilio Fernandez's 1951 film, Victims of Sin, and more specifically, how its characters and events reflect upon Mexico's World War II experience. This melodramatic run-bearer follows Violeta, a Cuban club dancer who helps raise an abandoned baby named Juanito with rival club owner Santiago. To provide some context to the connections between the film and real life, it's important first to understand where the country aligned itself prior to the war. By the mid-1930s, Mexico had already vocalized a disdain for fascism, joining economic blockades against the Kingdom of Italy's annexing of the Ethiopian Empire, as well as protesting the Anschluss of Austria, an issue where major nations such as France, the UK and the US stayed quiet. Its most famous case of fascist disapproval, however, came in June of 1939, with its recognition of the exiled Spanish Republican government, and its subsequent withdrawal of its embassy from Spanish territory. The beginning of the war saw President Lázaro Cárdenas keep his country to its pacifist policy. However, that didn't prevent the government from condemning aggression against the sovereignty of democratic nations. Come December of 1940 though, and with the election of Mexico's more right-leaning president Avila Camacho, neutrality was less firm. Therefore, by April of the following year, Italian and German ships were seized in national ports. This was followed by the prohibiting of selling Mexican products outside of the American continent, mainly affecting the country's oil, whose now main buyer would be the US, a country on the cusp of entering conflict and in desperate need of Mexico's raw materials. Before we get to Mexico's time during the war, we first need to jump back to the film itself. Victims of Sin is filled with Afro-Caribbean beats, championing multiculturalism and peace, basking in a wonderful score and traversing from one conversation to another. Similarly to how the issues in Europe were building, the pressure in the film mounts as relationships are built and lost, and true characters come to light. It's only towards the back end of the film, but we see a huge moment where Juanito is being used as a tool for criminal activity. This to me mirrors the declaration of war from Mexico, something I believe is backed further by Violeta then being sent to prison for 6 years. Of course, the same length of time as the war itself, although I won't spoil how Violeta gets there. Over the course of these years, Juanito is left homeless and struggling for scraps. Mexico officially declared war on May 22, 1942, after 2 of their oil tankers were sank by German forces. Mexico largely fought in the Philippines and on the Baja coast of California, but there were still also thousands of the country's men residing overseas who were drafted or volunteered to help in the war. The country might have not experienced a lot of casualties, but people did still die because of the conflict. There was a lot of opposition to war within the country itself, and the government began to develop propaganda to increase its support. In the film, Juanito carries on doing whatever he can, and makes it through a time without a safety net. In the same way, particularly economically, Mexico actually ended the war with a net positive. There was a reduction in unemployment with the Bracero program, an agreement that allowed Mexicans to migrate north to help cover the US's newfound employment shortages. And of course, as seen from the film itself, Mexican cinema experienced significant growth, entering their golden age. Now, nearly 75 years old, Victims of Sin still holds up as a powerful melodramatic piece full of love and loss, and the perseverance of one woman shadowing her nation from the years prior. It's packed with engaging sequences of scintillating joy, striking images and huge moments. It may never directly reference war, but its messages are clear to see when you peel back the curtain, not to mention our antagonist Rolfo, who I believe plays as an allegory for the war itself, and we slowly overcome his tyranny over the course of the film. Films can teach us so much, introducing us to eras and stories that we'd never otherwise know about. And that's exactly why you should watch more films. But thank you for watching this video before you do, and I'll see you next time.